Iwontmillion. I want million. You want million? I want million. It is I want million with an O. Pronounce it in a European style.
I want million.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of, he was just about to say let's play Iwontmillion, but this is going to be let's review Iwontmillion because we have footage from another $1 million spin and go. This is actually the last $5 $1 million spin and go that has popped up until now. So maybe another million is still up for grabs. Who knows? The $1 million spin and goes are still out on Pokerstars, so we should try to want and get million for now. But we should also try to review our play and improve our game in order to be able to take down the milli if we hit the biggie. I mean, if we bink the biggie, it's fine, but you also have to win in order to win the $1 million. If you get second, if you get third, you only get 100K. That's still a lot of money, but yeah, I mean, one of these guys here or gals is gonna be the new millionaire on Pokerstars, and we're gonna review the action. I'm not gonna spoil the results yet. Maybe some of you already know who's gonna be the millionaire. We've got Egg 1981 from Guernsey, we've got Hand BT1 from Germany, and we've got Luda 1975 from the Ukraine. And action starts off with a raise from the button on Hand BT1, a raise on the button from Hand BT1. My kind of thinking early morning after breakfast screwed up a little bit, but let's just check out the action. So we see a limp from Luda. Again, this is a $5 spin and go, so I assume a lot of these guys will play in a rather little bit of a passive or unconventional style. Maybe some of these guys will really force it. We've seen that before happen in a $5 spin and go. Most of the action in a $100 spin and go was a little bit more tuned down, and people had more of solid approaches, defending their blinds and managing their stack sizes and everything. You can check out the previous episodes on that strategy talk that I did there. So here we see the first three-way limp pot. That's actually something we haven't seen in quite a while. Either the pots were heads up or they were just taken down pre-flop. So this is really kind of an uncommon situation. And we see Luda betting the flop here for 2/3 pot on King 6 Jack. Egg makes the check call. It goes check check on the turn. I assume Luda is going to have a jack here, maybe a 6 that he or she is checking back. And the river comes a jack. That's interesting. I mean, Luda can definitely have a jack. Egg can have a jack. Egg bets 60, so I assume Egg is not that strong. Maybe he bets a king or a 6 for value against maybe some ace highs. I don't know. Luda makes the call. We're going to be curious to see what they have. They make small bets here. Don't assume that the hands are going to be too strong. And Luda actually checked back 2 pair, which is quite uncommon, and gets a bluff bet out of Queen 10. Egg tries to take it down for a cheap bluff, hoping that Luda was just betting the flop when it was checked to him or her on the button. So, you know, sometimes the button does that. But here, this is interesting to see that Luda actually checked back his or her 2 pair. I don't know if that's for a strategic reason or that's more of like a little bit scared that she or he could be already losing this very first pot with 2 pair. But I mean, either way, that was 2 streets of value out of 2 pair, which is nice. So Luda's up to 610 now. Hand BT1 makes those bigger opens. We see them for the first time, not making 2x or 3x, but actually using some different sort of sizing with 48. That's a custom sizing. Definitely interesting to see that. Just a little bit of more chips, maybe to make it look like it's a little bit more, who knows. And the hand BT1 takes down this pot on a King 7-6 board. Now folding. Luda makes the min raise, takes it down. Egg's now the short stack. And limping again on the button. That was a limp previously with King 6 suited. I assume that's a hand that's good enough for a raise, but apparently Luda is mixing it up between limping and raising. We'll see where that leads. But I think that was hand BD1 who took it down with an $80 raise here. Pretty big raise, but at the same time, it's a threatening raise, and it just puts pressure on the limbs, especially when you have a hand like King 6 suited. You have to risk 60, which is quite a big amount of your stack size. So that 80 is enough to take it down. And again, $48, those little extra dollars on top. Maybe they produce some more fold equity, who knows? By fold equity, I mean, you know, you just basically increase the chance that somebody folds if you want them to fold. If you just add a couple more chips to make it look more threatening or a little bit customized so that you're not appearing to be just clicking the min raise button. That looks, very straightforward. Everybody is doing that. So it looks easy to do with a lot of hands, but if you make it 48, maybe somebody thinks, he put some thought into this. Well, it's just like my kind of thinking or approach here. So Luda makes the bet smallish on King Jack 5. Bets again for 36. Now we see more customized bet sizings. It's going to be interesting. And turn, hand BT1 makes the call. River goes. Check, check. Hand BT1 has the pair fives. Pretty standard, I would say. I mean, Luda could be betting some draws here on the flop and the turn, like Queen 10, backdoor flush draw, some gut shots. The 5 could still improve to trips or to pair. The sizing was such that, hand BT1 had to make the call there. Luda bet the second pair for value twice, which is also quite standard, I would say. Nice pot there. Again. Definitely interesting to see that the smaller sizes not only, well, the bigger size for the King 6 was 2 pairs, so the smaller sizes now were second pair. Maybe something that could be indicative of the hand strength. Again, limps on the button, pretty unconventional. But as I said in the $100 spin go episode, I like it from time to time, because if you limp on the button, you let the big blind play for free, which sometimes you want, especially when you have a strong hand. You might be trapping with a strong or medium strength hand because you actually get to play against the big blind. If you raise something like King 6, the big blind might fold something like 6-8 or 6-9 because he doesn't want to play that hand, but you're dominating this hand. So it's actually, sometimes it can lead to some nice scenarios, but it's also tricky because, at the same time, if you limp on the button with King 6 and somebody sees the flop with some random hand like 3 deuce or 7 deuce and he hits 2 pair and you actually hit top pair or second pair, you also lose some chips there. So it's a kind of like a double-edged sword, and you have to make your decision based on how you think your opponent is going to be likely to make the most mistakes against you. That's kind of my approach here. If I feel like my opponent is going to be prone to making a lot of post-flop mistakes, I might want to limp on the button. Right, so more strategy talk to come now, I guess. Luda makes a big bet. I assume that was a strong hand. Just my assumption. Hand BD1 going with his custom sizes when the blinds go up to 1530 again to 72. And we see him taking down quite a lot of pots pre-flop without any action. That could mean that nobody has a hand, but could also mean that his customized sizes are a little bit more effective with fold equity. And again, we see more folds. So nobody's willing to give hand BD1 action, and he chips up quite nicely through this. So why not? And Egg is a short stack now. He has to go all in. Takes it down. 2040 now. And that is interesting. Luda makes an $80 raise and has to fold to the 245 shove. This is pot odds of, 80 invested already. There's 325 in the pot and 160 to call. That's 2-1. And 2-1, you're basically getting with a lot of different hands, especially with king high, with a lot of suited hands. You have around 30%. So actually, this would mean that Luda has been stealing with a very, very weak hand, like 7-3 offsuit maybe, I assume. Or it's rather a tight fold, assuming that Egg has been very tight and just shoves very, very strong hands. But I doubt that with his stack size. So I think here, if Luda raises, for me, this would be a call with close to any 2 suited cards and a lot of Broadway combinations, because Egg is likely to shove an ace here, maybe some pairs. But even against the pairs, if you have one overcard, even if you have some undercards to the ace, even if you're suited, you're usually going to have around 30 to 35% equity, 36 maybe, and you're getting 2-1, better than 2-1 in the spot. So I feel like this should be a call with almost anything. So maybe Luda, I would probably approach this in a different way. I would probably limp or shove directly, or raise just when I actually want to raise call in this situation. Definitely interesting to see. But yeah, sometimes these things happen, especially when you're caught up in the heat and you just think like, oh, I'm not looking at the stack sizes, so you just making that min raise, and then all of a sudden, I've been there before myself all the time. Like I min raise and I see, oh my god, this guy's short stacked. I shouldn't have min raised there. That's definitely something to pay attention to, especially in these scenarios. I mean, if you're playing for $1 million, you definitely want to make sure that you're having an eye on this. So this is just advice for you guys, for me, myself as well, as a little reminder. Always check on stack sizes, because if you don't check on stack sizes, you might make a mistake and that might be costly, and that might be costing you $1 million in the worst case scenario. Who knows? So we see NPD1 making the bigger opens again. 96. Now he gets action from Luda on King 3-7. It goes check check. That's interesting. We expect hand BD1 to c-bet the king high board almost always, and he actually check folds on the king turn. Luda kind of smallish bet on the turn. Assume that that's probably going to mean like a medium or a small pair. But it's interesting to see that hand BD1 just gave up without a fight here, assuming that maybe Luda has a somewhat better hand when he or she calls their preflop, especially given that his raises so far have been given credit and everybody has been folding. So now, shoving into egg, let's see if we get a call. No, we don't. Another min raise and egg shoves. Luda calls this time, getting around the same ballpark odds. Queen 9-4, 2 diamonds. Is this going to be it already for one of these? For egg. Egg is at risk. And egg shows ace 10 diamonds against king jack, and ace 10 of diamonds holds. Nice flop for both. A lot of outs for both hands. But yeah, again, fairly standard. And I think king jack has around 40% there, so the call is definitely correct against the shove. Absolutely. I'd probably prefer to shove king jack myself, just feeling that I want to pick it up pre-flop and not get shoved on, because if I get shoved on, I know I'm behind. But then again, you know, if I shove, maybe egg decides to make a tighter fold. Who knows? Don't think so, but you never know. Either way, it's just a spot where you need to raise and call it off for sure with king jack. Now hand BD1 goes into shoving mode as well with his around 10 big blind size stack. Gets a fold. So now everybody's back to around even stacks. Luda has had to give up a little bit on the chip lead, giving back some chips here in that all in. Another all in by hand BD1, and now he takes the chip lead, shoving and being really aggressive. Luda gets through with a shove. A lot of shoves uncalled so far. 30-60. Again, shove by hand BD1, and he chips up nicely through this. His shoves go through uncalled every single time. Luda going all in, gets a fold, so it still stays exciting. A lot of shoving going on now in 30-60. There is not much more room to play right now with those stack sizes, especially since these two guys have way less than 10 big blinds now. And that's a walk for Luda. That's always nice if you get a walk in these situations. You just stay alive for one more. Pretty tight action now. Everybody getting a little bit tighter, folding around, making hand BD1 stronger. And egg is all in, gets folds. Nobody seems to want to make a call or a wrong move. Even for the short shove here from Luda for 250, egg made the fold. It's getting into the area where I think a lot of hands should be a call against Luda's shoves, even if you assume that Luda is shoving a little bit on the tighter side. But I think with this, again, this would be at around 2-to-1 pot odds. So a lot of hands like Broadways, King X, Queen X, suited hands should be calls. And now we see a call. Egg at risk. Luda still has 39 chips. Chip in a chair, even if he or she loses. 5, 7, 8. 8 on the turn. And the 9. I mean, ace high would still win against some Broadways. But the 9 takes it for egg. Luda is down to 39. Deuces never loses usually. We've seen that on my Let's Play Iwontmillion streams, but this time not for Luda. Luda now has to go all in, I think. Yeah, that's it. Let's see if the chip in a chair trick is going to work. I've done it before with 35. It has happened before, and I think a lot of you guys also noted that in the comments in my Let's Play series, that all you need is a chip in a chair in these. Sometimes you just make ridiculous comebacks. Who knows? Jack 3, there we go. That's the first one. First one, then the second one. You just have to double a couple times. I mean, not much to be said or done here. And now hand shoves. Luda calls, egg folds, X getting out of the way. And 6-4-8, two hearts. Like, if Luda has any two type of hand, that would be kind of her flop, you know. Medium strength suited connectors. But hand BD1 has the straight on the river and gets there with Jack 10. That 9 was looking pretty, but that river killed it for Luda. So we lose one player for 100k. Not too bad. Now it's heads up between hand BD1 and egg, but they're already at 40-80 levels, so egg is going to be at risk pretty quickly. And hand BD1 has a 2-1 chip lead, even more than that. And it's putting up the pressure now with a lot of shoves. Egg has to call now, probably again with a lot of hands, given the blinds are so high. 10-10-8, 2 diamonds, ace of spades on the turn. That ace could definitely hit. Who's going to have it? Pocket threes, 8-9 takes it, and that's it. Hand BD1 from Germany is the new millionaire. Egg takes 100k, Luda takes 100k. As we've seen in this series, I think I personally have learned quite a lot about stack size management, about mixing up my plays, and about trying to really ramp up aggression in spots where I feel people are getting tighter and withdraw from the action a little bit. That's probably like the biggest lesson to be learned from reviewing this. I really take a lot out of these. It's really interesting to watch because I see that once I get into a big spin and go, it doesn't even matter if it's $1 million spin and go. It could also be like $1,000 spin and go, or 2,000, 3,000, 9,000, 10,000, 20,000 spin and go. Who knows? The big ones are where the action is going to be a little bit different than the action at the smaller ones, because the smaller ones, people are just going to be willing, it's just a small prize pool, let's just go all in, let's just, play it out like it does, it is what it is. But in the big one, everybody is like freezing a little bit, getting a little bit tighter in certain spots, and if you are able to attack in the right spots, like, if you know how to ramp up aggression, like hand BD1 did in certain phases, he was just really aggressive and active. I like that a lot. It's something where you can pick up extra chips and just maintain your stack size. Hand BD1 never was at risk, really. He always chipped up nicely. He never really came into the situation where you had to play for stacks. Of course, it's a lot to do with variance, and it has a lot to do with what cards you get. But we didn't see many showdowns. So actually, I like the way you play it a lot, and I think you can learn a lot from these. So I enjoyed the series. I hope you did too. I hope you also learned something. So next time you get dealt into $1 million spin and go, you know exactly what to do, where to attack, where to withdraw, and basically what to do in order to give your best to not only want million, but to get that million. So now it's time to play again. I'm going to put up more Let's Play series in the future. Don't worry, as long as the spin and goes are out there, we're going to continue on the Let's Play series. As I said, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button on the videos. It always helps the exposure of the channel and the growth of the channel. If you like what I'm doing, if you want to support me this way, then thumbs up it is. Subscribe to the channel. You get updated on all the videos that I upload, so you get a message saying Flix just uploaded a new video, and you can go and watch it right away. So I'll see you guys. Keep calm, and I want million.